Hello, my name is Jim Suozzo, and I'm with the Ridgewood Guild International Film Festival. And today I'm happy to have with us some of the people from Bangkok Barcelona on foot. It's a great documentary that I hope all of you watch with our festival this year. And with me is the director, Quim Badenas, as well as the subjects of his documentary, Jenn and Lluis. They are from Catalan. So,
okay, thank you.
Welcome all of you. Thanks for
Hello.
with us today. I could talk a little bit about this movie, but I want Jenn and Lluis to just tell us a little bit about what it is that they decided to do a few years ago that Quim eventually put into movie form.
Well, we decided to walk 16,000 kilometers from Bangkok to Barcelona. And we got the idea from, I was looking through Instagram one day, found a cyclist who was going from Patagonia to Chile, from Oregon to Chile. And then I went to his website and saw that his parents had walked across the United States in the 1970s. So some mid-June afternoon, I sent Lluis an email and said, before we're old and broken, let's go do something like these guys did and go for a really long walk. And his reply was?
Well, I was at the time with a suit, tie, office, multinational desk job, and I was in shock. And her email was talking about like something like Barcelona to Bangkok. And I didn't reply. Went home, look at the world map that we had on an office. And the next day we say, well, what about Buenos Aires, San Francisco? And
the answer was, well, that's a long way. It was never no, it was always, we're gonna do something like this.
And we spent 2 or 3 years saying either the Asian or the American route. In the end, well, it was the Asian one.
And we decided to walk home. Like the idea that we would finish in Bangkok seemed less fulfilling. So we took a flight to Bangkok and then decided to make the trek.
That's very interesting because I would have put my money on it that it was Lluis's idea. You have a very interesting background with human towers. Can you just explain a little bit about what that is and how you get involved in that?
Well, in Catalonia, our little nation, we have a tradition, one of them, that is we build human towers. We climb on each other, we defy gravity and equilibrium, and it's a really, it's a very intense cultural thing where people from 4 or 5 years old to 80, 85, all men, women, all different colors, we are all building big, big towers. The biggest, the better. So, and this is a very, very passionate, exciting activity that I've been doing since 1987. And well, it gives us also a purpose of going to Bangkok, but coming home. It's like that in the US, go west. So go west, we look for sunsets, go west, walk home. It takes a while from Bangkok, but we made it.
But
yes.
I have to add that it's because of the human towers that we are together, in fact. So
that's right, which is shown or explained in the film. And Quim, how did you get some of that footage that you have of the human towers?
Because of the group that where Lluis does these human towers, they collaborated with the film. They were so nice. We told them, I mean, we would like to have some images, but especially if you had them from 2003, where they met, and that was the exactly moment what appears there. It's Plaza Sant Jaume in Barcelona. In that specific event, they were there. So they meet in some moment of that celebration, yes.
That's great. So obviously, Jenn and Lluis, you've known each other for 20 years.
Wow.
When you went on this adventure, which is a great word for it, I think it was 2016. You'd been together for a while, but has to be just trying to a couple to spend that much time together. How on earth
Is a funny
you
word.
survive that?
It was hell. Some days it was difficult.
Yeah, often we are asked for many questions, but fortunately, thanks for the interest of everybody. But one of the little miracles is that we made it together, because on the way we had a lot of wonderful moments, much more than, but very ugly moments too. So when we were in danger as Jenn and Lluis, but well, it was really a test.
Yeah. We had breakdown moments, and we did separate for a little while because it was healthy to do so. But yeah, and we get asked sometimes, like, what was the hardest thing of the trip? And there were many hard things, but sometimes we just do this, we point to each other, because as much as we love each other, it was, you're always at a limit. You're always at some limit, and one person is always at another limit. It's always, I'm too hungry, or I'm too hot, or I'm too tired, or we have to keep going, or it's always like a pressure, and it's hard to keep your head about you.
Yeah, you do talk in the film a bit about how it's, obviously physically grueling, and you saw some of the injuries that you had in your feet, etc. And you're carrying probably 40 pounds on your back every single day. It's got to be something. But when you did decide to separate for those little periods that you did you know you'd get together in a week or 2 weeks or whatever? Or did you just say, hey, we'll just take a break and we'll figure it out later when we're going to hook up again together?
No, we had a plan that we would meet. Like in Turkey, we knew we were going to meet a few weeks at a certain destination. And there was one moment in Macedonia where I left, and I'm going to the beach, and I'll see you in like a month, or I don't know, we'll figure it out. But I made it to a deli, I got a soda, and then I hitchhiked back up to where he was. I brought him a cold soda, and I'm like, all right, I'm back. He was as surprised as I was to be there again.
No, but as you ask, in some of these several very, very bitter moments, the last final question that we had in our crying, shouting, bitter conversations was, okay, this is a trip, but what about us? We meet in 1 week, in 1 month, in 1 year back in Catalonia. We'll meet there and we'll continue our lives, because this is an amazing project, probably the most demanding, amazing project of our personal lives. But when this is done, and we keep going, because this cannot kill us. We can die in the middle, but us is something else. And that was the last final question that we had to save, just to make sure that we will going to meet somewhere, sometime.
Nice.
We obviously survived.
I can see that. That's good. Hey, Quim, can you tell us how you got involved in this project and what caused you to want to film it?
Well, it's really curious because Lluis and I met 26 years ago. We were in different lives, him and I, because we were studying an MBA in ESADE in Barcelona. We had completely different lives to our lives nowadays. And once that MBA finished, Lluis had the great idea of writing an email every 31st of December to, say hello to his classmates and to, wish you a nice year and all this. And always he was asking, tell me something about you and all this. And I was answering him one year after the other. But then on 31st of December 2018, was it 2018? Yeah, I saw in his signature and the URL Bangkok Barcelona on food.com, and I said, what's this? It's crazy. Bangkok Barcelona on food? Has to be kidding. So I answered him and I said, I'm okay. Okay, I wish you are well, but tell me, what's this? So we had to meet, and he explained me everything. And at that moment, I said, "Are you planning to do a documentary?" And he said, "A what?" So that's why the way we started to talk about this. I only had produced some films for companies, some commercials on our company videos. So that was my first film. Actually, I'm working now with another feature film, but that was my first one. I found it amazing once we started to talk, and then the project started. Yes.
That's great. So that had to be right in the middle, or maybe even towards the end of your walk. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. It was at the end. It was end of 2018, and we finished June 29th, 2019. So we were already in Europe. And well, this obviously was another extra wonderful incentive to arrive, to make it home, and continue meeting our dear friend Quim, that has been really the father, the artist, the screenwriter, the projector, the director. Is amazing. The documentary is him. Yeah. We owe him all this documentary, everything. So bravo for him.
Well, bravo for them. I didn't walk a meter.
You should film.
Well, tell us, Kim, about some of the challenges you had in making this into a film.
Sure, because
the project really 2 years in, like, how did you even get footage?
Yeah, the thing was that I didn't have the footage. As I told you, I got involved, months to the end of the project. So I asked them, "What kind of footage do you have?" Because they were only carrying their mobiles, and really they had to save battery. That was so important for them, for the GPS and to get localized. So they really couldn't do many videos. So they had about 60 or 70 mini videos, literally thousands of photographs, and nothing else. So once they were in Catalonia, the last days, I met them there. So we made some professional footage in all the Catalan coast, and also the day they arrived to Barcelona. This shooting was so really touching and exciting. And then once we finished, I started to think, well, the first thing is to get some interviews with them, but about 3 or 4 days in different moments. I had the interviews with them. And that's when we started to figure out how to build this script, because the most amazing thing of the film, probably I would say that what motivated me to produce it was the story behind the story. I mean, the story we all know is the adventure. And it's when they tell you Bangkok Barcelona, you start to make questions about safety, money, where do you sleep, what do you eat? But in these interviews, it really, the story behind the story came out, and it was really the amazing relationship they had with almost every single person they met during these 3 years and 16,000 kilometers. I mean, the message about the world, the people from all these countries, makes you really think, do I really know the world I live in? Because the news we get from the media tells us that some countries are really, really, really dangerous. But Jenn and Lluis walked meter by meter. They stopped in about 3,000 villages, towns, cities, and they met thousands of people. And their message was always, the people is good, the people is nice. And I found really amazing.
It was great, and you certainly captured that well. And I remember Lluis mentions in the film, I think 955 nights away. And how many was it that you actually spent with people that you didn't know and they invited you into their homes?
Approximately 31%, if I'm not wrong, 31% of those nights we slept at private homes. So they invited us without knowing who the hell we were. We were looking really ugly, dirty, smelly, disgusting, weird, and astronauts in many places, and come home. So they brought us to their own private worlds with their families, their kids, their grandpas. We were babysitting, we were taking care of the grandpas. Some parents left to do something, and they left us in charge of the kids or the grandpas. Just they met us the day before or the same afternoon. This is what, when we started, we had this leitmotif, like a phrase that we exploring the world, looking for the goodness of people. And it's really what Quim captured so well, because we go away, we walked without any censure, without any interest of anything. We face them and we live with them. And the world is full of goodness and wonderful people. And this is what we want to spread everywhere, every single time that we have a choice. And thank you for giving us this opportunity. Really, the world is full of very nice people.
That's great. And if people want to learn more about what you've done, is it Bangkok Barcelona on foot.com?
Yes, it is.
You can go there. That's great, Quim. As Lluis just said, you did a great job.
Thank you so much.
In their story in this documentary. But tell us what's next. I believe you mentioned you're working on another film.
Yes, absolutely different. Has nothing to do with this, but it's about a very controverted thing. It's about health, and it's about the world of assisted reproduction. Spain is one of the most important countries in the world with the most privileged specialists about this, but we have a lot of medical tourism about this. And really recently, the World Health Organization said that 1 out of 6 persons in the world will have some problems to have children because of the health. So it really another kind of pandemic, this thing. I mean, we really don't know much about it, but it's also a taboo. It's the word for that you also use in English, yes. And it's not really in our conversations in society. So we really have to bring this out and to be more empathetic with patients, because they really suffer it. And it's about this world. It would be a feature film. And I would like to tell you that it will be finished for Christmas. So hoping that next year we had 2 in a row presents in your festival, Lluis Festival.
Well, we'd love to watch it.
Thank you, Jim.
And I want to thank all 3 of you for spending time with us today and giving us this interview. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thanks to you.
Thanks to you.
It's very important for us, and we're very, very, very happy to be there.
Thank you.